Well, it all started that I found a lump in my breast, and so I ummed and ahed, and then I decided that I would share it with the girls at work, and they were sort of like, you need to go to the GPs, and I was really reluctant because I knew that there was quite a waiting list at the GP, so I said, I think by the time I've got the appointment, the lump will have gone. However, the girls made the appointment for me and got me one the next day. And from then on, I started on the fast track. So I was seen in clinic within the scheduled, I think it's 14 days. And then 2 weeks later, I had the op. So it was then that it started, like you're going to have so many weeks of this, so many weeks of that. You'll be off work for X amount, which was a big shock. You never think you're going to be in that situation. When you hear that word cancer, everything thinks about it. And then you go through the phases of I made a will for the first time. And I had to think about my children, and then the thoughts of, if anything happens to you, and so all those thoughts go through your mind. Natalie came onto the chemotherapy ward, one of the appointments that I was there the week before, and sort of introduced herself and said, I'll be doing your treatment next week down at the healthcare centre. She gave me the booklet and made sure that I knew where I was coming to, which I did. And she gave me my appointment to sit with me, and it's just been brilliant. I was quite low when I was going to the hospital and seeing other people poorly. You can't help but think, but you come here and it's so bright and breezy, and it's just like, as I say, any other appointment that you go to. It could be a GP or it could be a hairdresser's appointment. It feels like that atmosphere where it's something enjoyable, really good. It's just really nice having the same person doing your treatment all the time, and you feel like you've got more time with them, whereas in hospital, there were so many people in the room that it doesn't feel quite as confidential, so you really sort of guard yourself on what you say, I think. Whereas here you can be open and honest and get the help and the advice that you need. And some days, I've come in and I've been upset, and that whatever feeling you bring in, be it a good one, a sad one, a painful one, a side effect one, you can get it dealt with and you can speak about it. And that's really important when you're going through treatment. You can't always talk to your friends and family, but by coming and sitting with Natalie and talking about how I feel, she can sort of say, you're normal, or she can say, well, I can tell you that this is a normal thing, and just give you reassurance. It's just great. Obviously, going to the hospital, I had to set off at least an hour before my appointment because the parking was horrendous. Going round and round the car parks, endlessly trying to find a space. Should you get a slot which is in visiting times, you could be sort of waiting half an hour in a queue to get a space. So that's why this centre is much better. It kind of makes you a bit anonymous, whereas in hospital you're clearly there, for that treatment, especially when you're going through the phase where I did when I lost my hair and I was wearing headgear. You feel really conspicuous that people know what you're going for, know that you've got cancer and you've lost your hair, whereas here you come in literally off the street, few paces, you're in here, and you don't feel that patient, I suppose. I think the fact that you can choose your appointments to suit yourself is one of the best things. I can fit it in with work, so if I know that I'm coming into work at lunch, I can just pop out, for an hour, or I can do it before work if I'm working late, so it all fits in really nicely. It's really helpful having the pharmacy next to the healthcare centre. Obviously, I've been buying some products to help with side effects, so it's real handy that I know that if I'm going down for my treatment, that I can just pop next door, get things off the shelf, and it's two things done in one, really. It saves you a lot of time rather than having to go to a different pharmacy and, park up there, or go to a chemist or go to a supermarket. Through every sort of part of your treatment, there are these bells. Where I had my radiotherapy, they had a bell as well. And basically on the last day, you go and ring the bell to symbolise that you are at the end of treatment and at the end of that stage. So then you move on to the next one, and this is my next stage. And so when I ring the bell next week, I'll be ringing it for the end of this stage, but for the end of the whole of the treatment. So it will be really special, and I shall take a photo and show all my friends and, celebrate. When you've got cancer, you're kind of surrounded by people and you think a lot about the worst case scenario, whereas coming here, it is more that you're thinking of the future and you're counting down your weeks to when you're finishing your treatment and ringing that bell. So that's really, really good. You know, it's the end. You know, it's just brilliant that I can come to a place like this that is not hospital and have my final bit of treatment, because it's just so relaxing and the staff are great. Stopping treatment is a good thing, but also it would be a shame that I don't have to come here anymore, because it really has been a good experience and I would recommend it to people because it does give you a different attitude towards the end of the treatment after being so low and being on hospital wards and getting transport, and you know, you can drive yourself to the appointment, you're straight in and out, and you make friends, so brilliant.